Ever found that perfect item online, clicked Add to Cart, only to be faced with a price tag that makes you hesitate? You really want it, but paying the full amount up front just isn't feasible right now. We've all been there. That's where buy now, pay later services like PayBright come into play. But before you start adding everything to your wish list, a crucial question arises. Am I even eligible? Today, we're diving deep into PayBright's eligibility requirements, breaking down everything you need to know to determine if this payment option is right for you. We'll cover the key criteria, common misconceptions, and even some tips to improve your chances of approval. So, if you're curious about using PayBright to manage your purchases, stick around. First, let's establish what PayBright actually is. In essence, it's a financing solution that allows you to spread the cost of your purchases over a series of installments. Instead of paying the full amount at checkout, you make smaller, more manageable payments over time. This can be incredibly helpful for larger purchases or when you need something urgently but don't have the immediate funds. Now, onto the burning question, who can actually use PayBright? While the specifics can vary slightly depending on the merchant and the specific financing plan, there are some core eligibility requirements that generally apply. One of the most fundamental requirements is age. You must be of the age of majority in your province or territory of residence. This is typically 18 or 19 years old, depending on where you live in Canada. This is a standard requirement for any financial agreement, ensuring you have the legal capacity to enter into a contract. Next up is residency. PayBright is currently available to Canadian residents. This means you need a valid Canadian address and, in most cases, a Canadian phone number. This requirement helps verify your identity and ensures they can contact you regarding your payments. A crucial factor in determining your eligibility is your credit history. PayBright performs a credit check as part of the application process. This allows them to assess your creditworthiness and determine the appropriate financing terms. A good credit history significantly increases your chances of approval and may also qualify you for better interest rates or more flexible payment plans. Now, what exactly constitutes a good credit history? While PayBright doesn't publicly disclose their exact credit score requirements, generally, a higher credit score is better. Factors that contribute to a good credit score include a history of on-time payments, low credit utilization, meaning you're not using a large percentage of your available credit, and a mix of different types of credit, like credit cards and loans. Conversely, a poor credit history, marked by missed payments, high credit utilization, or bankruptcies, can negatively impact your chances of approval. However, having less than perfect credit doesn't necessarily disqualify you entirely. PayBright may still approve your application, but you might be offered different financing terms, such as a higher interest rate or a shorter repayment period. Another important aspect of the eligibility criteria is having a valid payment method. Typically, this means a Canadian bank account or a valid credit card. This is necessary for setting up your installment payments. PayBright needs a reliable way to collect your payments on time, and linking a bank account or credit card provides that assurance. It's also worth noting that your employment status and income can play a role in the approval process. While not always explicitly stated as a requirement, having a stable source of income demonstrates your ability to repay the loan. This can be particularly relevant for larger financing amounts. However, being self-employed or having non-traditional income sources doesn't automatically disqualify you. PayBright will consider various factors when assessing your application. Now, let's address some common misconceptions about PayBright eligibility. One common misconception is that you need a perfect credit score to be approved. As we discussed, a good credit history is beneficial, but it's not the only factor. Other factors like your income, payment history, and the specific financing plan also play a role. Another misconception is that using PayBright will negatively impact your credit score. This is not necessarily true. In fact, making your payments on time can actually help improve your credit score over time. However, missed payments can negatively impact your credit, so it's crucial to ensure you can comfortably manage your repayments. So, what can you do to improve your chances of being approved for PayBright financing? First and foremost, focus on building and maintaining a good credit history. This means making your payments on time, keeping your credit utilization low, and avoiding applying for too much credit at once. Ensure you have a stable source of income and a valid payment method linked to your account. This demonstrates your ability to repay the loan and facilitates smooth payment processing. It's also a good idea to review your credit report before applying. This allows you to identify any errors or inaccuracies that could negatively impact your application. You can obtain a free copy of your credit report from Equifax and TransUnion, Canada's two major credit bureaus. Finally, remember that each merchant may have slightly different eligibility criteria or offer different financing plans through PayBright. So, it's always a good idea to check the specific terms and conditions offered at checkout. To recap, the key eligibility requirements for PayBright generally include being of the age of majority in your province or territory, being a Canadian resident, having a valid payment method, and undergoing a credit check. While a good credit history is beneficial, it's not the sole determining factor. By understanding these requirements and taking steps to improve your creditworthiness, you can increase your chances of being approved for PayBright financing and take advantage of this convenient payment option. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.